Previously on the other dungeon. The party finally left the smaller island to search for Lazy Gonzales as a large storm rolled in, but their search attracted a colossal lizard, and they narrowly escaped being devoured when Bekefo luckily gained control of the massive beast, and the group decided to devise a way to use it for a ride. And now, the other dungeon continues!
Roll another ride to hang on to this dinosaur collar.
While they're doing that, can I eat the chum off the clearing ground?
If you like, but it's tiny, so it's like a small morsel, but you can eat whatever you like.
I got an 8 ride.
I've got 12.
You guys are still having trouble holding on. It's a big dinosaur, it's just a thin rope, you guys are you're pretty much like dangling off the side of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
off right off.
Yeah. Karen's fine, she's holding on the top. She's had lots of horse riding as a kid, though. So Karen looks great, but everyone else is like dangling off the side. And it's still raining a lot, and it's very wet, and it's still very dark. It's probably the middle of the night at this point, but you guys are on the back of a dinosaur. Although only Karen makes it look good. And Bekefo has the control of a dinosaur, but what do you guys do now? You're pretty much like one of the largest creatures in this forest you can tell. Like it's for the size of this thing.
So I feel like it's going to take them longer to tie that rope and try to climb up me than it was for me to lick that piece of meat off the ground. So while they're doing that, can I do a knowledge roll for my surroundings with my dinosaur senses?
Of course, you can do perception, knowledge nature, knowledge local,
I'm gonna do
history.
knowledge nature, please. I got an 8.
You don't know a whole lot. You know it's wet, trees are tall, lots of rocky ground,
Yeah.
but it's not a whole lot. It's dark. It's not a lot you can tell right now. Kind of getting acclimated to this dinosaur body, and its senses aren't great.
I'm just like twerking my arms around a little bit
Trying
and
to
like
use
moving
that
that tail and just like, I assume I have a tail.
Yeah, you definitely have a tail.
And I'm just like working it.
harder for us to get on.
That's why y'all roll so low.
Yeah, because the dinosaur's moving around.
She won't stop moving.
And then I hear Kiram, who's the only one who made it up all the way successfully, whisper in my ear hole.
Can you hook me up to some branches so I can grab some to make arrows?
They're the stronger
Yes.
ones.
And I thank you, Doc.
Let's roll a survival check to collect some branches.
From my weird vantage point, can I do the same?
14.
I'll let you collect 14 branches with a 14.
19!
You can have 19 branches with a 19.
Yeah!
Oh, you
These
guys
are
you
strong
guys have time to
branches,
take right here.
You said before, the ones at the top are the strong.
Yeah, those are good branches. I'm not saying they're bad
Okay.
branches. Now, someone still has to fletch them, of course, but there's not a lot of places you can get them in the rest of the world. You're on an island where you can get trees. Well, let's time a tree down, roll, and attack on a tree.
I got 11.
Alright, so you're pretty clumsily, like, throwing this body around. You hit some trees, but they bend, but they don't break. Like, so a lot of these trees seem to be like tall grass, like bamboo or palm trees, where they bend more than they snap. So that's why the dinosaur's able to run through them without breaking them.
That's just a random thought, it's not necessary.
I'm just trying to figure out my new body. Can I bite?
Yeah, you
near
can
the
bite. You
base
got teeth.
Of the bamboo trees?
Yeah, you can bite some trees.
I'm gonna bite some trees.
Roll an attack on a tree to bite.
19.
That's enough to bite a tree. You bite a tree, roll the damage on the tree. That's going to be 4d6 plus your strength. You can
20?
also swallow things whole. Yeah, you do 20 damage to a tree. That's going to be enough to break down at least one tree.
Yeah!
You snap a tree. Yep. Timber, a tree falls down.
Can I do it again? Oh, bitches!
If you just want to take some 20s, we're going to say, I'll let you collect a number of trees if you just want to chomp down some trees.
Yeah, I want to build like a raft that, like bamboo material too. Like
That
that's
sounds like it'd be really
floatable,
good.
my
It'd be really
dude.
good.
Alright, so if you take a 20, just tell me how many trees you want to chomp down. I'll say like one tree per hour, I guess, and you can just lumberjack a couple trees down. Give me a number.
The carpenter, she's done this shit before. She can clink this shit and like...
I use my dinosaur eyes to look
matter,
at
you have
Kieran the
the skill.
carpenter with twinkles of what should I do? Help!
I have...
say we probably need about... How tall are these trees again? Sorry.
These trees are over 60 feet tall, some of them. The smallest ones are like 30 feet.
How many
How
trees do you
many
need to make a
trees
good
do you
boat?
think we need to make a better boat than what we got?
Like a Viking longboat is what we're shooting for.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Oh man. I mean, a big raft would take 2 to 4 trees. A Viking longboat may take 10 to 16. They're pretty big trees.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bite down 14 trees. My favorite number.
Alright, so Bekefo starts biting down trees for the next 14 hours. You guys just like hang onto ropes and get
Oh
flung
yeah,
around.
this is just like a fun amusement.
Meanwhile, the storm rages on, so this is very wet, and you guys are like hanging onto rope, you're getting rained on, lightning flashes every now and then, trees are falling all around you, but you guys had a pretty good dinosaur ride, and you have a new dinosaur pet.
Make a boat and then a platform.
A backpack. A dino backpack.
It's like a papoose.
Yeah.
The group, with the aid of this large dinosaur that you now control with the aid of Bekefo, have felled several large trees. you can probably assume as long as Kevo's controlling this large creature, it's going to scare away most of the animals in the area. The only thing that seems to come around right now are smaller prey that you could assume this creature would probably usually ignore. Yeah, so there are some small rats and like little lizards, things like that, but nothing. This seems to be keeping a lot of other things away. You guys just have a little space right here in the jungle. You've got a big pile of trees. Yeah, you got a clearing where you just knocked over a bunch of stuff.
Can I check my bear trap? I baited it.
Roll a perception check.
A 12.
It seems unmolested. It seems like nothing's messed with it. Maybe because you're still so close to the large dinosaur creature that Kevo's inhabiting.
Cool,
Yeah.
so if my bait's still in there, I'm just gonna like leave it to
Sunglasses.
remember where it is.
Should I guys go ahead and start working on a boat?
I mean, this is a big project. How long would it take to really build this boat?
With all four of your help and only one of you being a skilled carpenter, it could take 3 or 4 months to build a boat.
Oh my god.
Dang.
Well, shit.
How long?
Rafts are faster, but boats are, it's gonna take a while to build a boat.
About the dinosaur rig.
That might take a month.
Both of those are out of the question.
Raft might also take 2 weeks to a month, depending on your conditions.
I feel like we should go get
Humble?
Sam's mom before.
Oh, yeah, you're
Before
right.
we waste a month on that. And we just came, and we go back and they're like, yeah, we ate her a long time ago. What? Bridget? You don't know who that is.
Floppy wolf?
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Is there a way to make a harness type of thing for them on the dinosaur that would be a little quicker? Like a...
I mean, you've already got ropes up there, so it's easier for them to climb up, and they can sort of hold on to those. It's not exactly a saddle or anything. Maybe with enough leather, they can make some kind of large exotic saddle if they have the ability to tan leather and etc. If one of you was a tanner, which I don't think any of you are. So besides the ropes they've already got, nothing really. But they can use these ropes as long as they're as tall as you, which I think most of them are at least 50 foot. So you might have to jump, do an acrobatics or a climb to get up there. But they can climb up to your neck area.
I mean, I feel like we don't really want to wait a month unless we do. We don't want to waste any time. I think we should go looking for Lazy Gonzalez. Like, that's the only other reason we're here. Came up blue.
I mean, even if you guys want to work on the boat part of the day and then go looking for Lazy Gonzalez, the boat won't be done for several months, and then you'll
let's
just
just work on
spend
the boat.
a certain number of hours a day doing the boat, and the less hours you spend in the day doing the boat, it might take longer.
Let's
You know.
build a little houseboat that we can put on the dinosaur. It's multi-purposeful, so it'll take less
So like a
time.
raft with a house on top.
Yeah, which is the same as just building a boat, and then when we're done, we put it on the dinosaur.
Yeah. The hardest part would be lifting it up to the dinosaur.
Let's concentrate on building the boat part first.
Well, yeah,
Just in case shit fucks up and we have to,
but let's call it a boat dino.
or our houseboat.
So you want to make it in the style of flat bottom with a house on top? Not like boat style? Because that will not fit on your back.
Trying to go like deep ocean shit. And like a saddle on the back. Some sort of fashion on the back of the dinosaur would work better than a house on the back of the dinosaur.
bench.
Okay, let's just start working on our fucking longship boat. Just give it a few hours. Maybe it doesn't work out.
Let's just start building the boat.
Let's just start building a boat.
Alright, so you guys start building a boat together here in your clearing. One of you is a carpenter of some merit.
He's telling us what to do.
Alright, so you're the foreman and the head carpenter. You're going to be sort of showing them what to do.
Right. So,
Roll.
I mean, I know in the process of preparing trees.
Are we hammering while you're talking?
Sure. You gotta strip off the bark.
Yep, you
You gotta
gotta
take all the skin off of the trees, right?
you gotta
Can I
shape
use
them.
that skin on the trees to braid it into rope?
Yeah, you can make rope as long as with a survival skill, they'll probably let you be able to do that. If you want to make some extra rope, it will be crude rope. Totally possible. This could be one of your byproducts of this, but that will just take more time out of your day. So you might spend 8 hours a day doing this, and then 8 hours a day making rope, then you probably don't have much time left to go adventuring.
Can I just gather the skin of the trees for a moment?
I mean, you guys can keep it all piled up near you. I mean, you can keep this all in this one clearing. So as long as nothing comes on this clearing, all this stuff's going to remain here. So if you want to strip a tree and leave some bark here in a pile, probably won't go anywhere unless an animal steals it or Lazy Gonzalez comes along and wants it.
So what do we do, Foreman?
I need you guys to strip the trees, get the bark off, put it in a pile,
Alright,
chop
so
it
you're gonna
up.
start doing that. So roll maybe your profession check, or your craft or whatever, or your carpentry.
How well can you tell us how to carpenter?
Yeah, roll that skill check for us.
I fell asleep during carpentry till I was 17.
Not bad. So you're able to direct them. I mean, you guys don't have the right tools for the job. You're not like in a woodworking shop or anything, but with your weapons that you have, you guys are all stripping the bark together and you're starting the process of preparing this wood and made into a boat. Is that how you guys would like to spend your 8 hours of today? Maybe 16 hours, or do you just want to do 8 hours and do something else?
trees down, or am I cutting trees down this whole time?
I think we did 14.
14,
Yeah.
my favorite number. You're right.
They had a good number of trees.
So I don't need to cut down
I
any
don't
more
think you
trees.
do.
Can
Yeah.
I-
The Kefos not much help in stripping bark off trees with their claws and stuff. So
I did think about something the other day. Being a weaponsmith, could I make something like a wooden spike wall in like the idea of like World War II era tank traps?
yeah,
Just lean up against each other, like some smaller shit's not gonna pass through, but maybe a big ass thing you can step over.
yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to know that.
You can totally build walls and stuff. I mean, that's not a weapon. I think it's still closer to carpentry. But with your expertise in weapon, you could obviously be like the guy that has.
Sharpen them.
Yeah, and you can be your idea because you're an expert in weapon making. Yeah, you can sharpen them. You can say this is a weapons-based idea. You can combine your skills together and roll together to make it better. I would allow that combined skill roll. But right now, you're just kind of working under Karam, directing you to strip bark.
Yeah.
You guys do that for just 8 hours.
How many trees would we need to line, with the exception of we'll say like a 10-foot opening, like line the entire clearing that we're in with these spike wall trap things that I described earlier.
18 more trees would be enough to build a barrier around your whole area right here.
I don't know how long we're gonna hunker down on this island, but
I am getting a hold of my druid.
no, that's great. That's awesome.
Maybe make just some spikes we can like hurl off the dinosaur or something. Like some weaponry.
Can I do something while everyone's conversing about building the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point,
So Caltrop's like,
I
there's
chopped
5
down
minutes where we
last
got spikes
episode,
at the
and
back of the
I
car
was
and
climbing around
like,
trees and
like,
stuff, and at this
Yeah.
point, I
those
haven't
Caltrops,
really like
but it'd
stood
be good in like a pursuit situation.
back
Maybe
up
we
as a
could
bipedal
scale that
creature.
back
I'm now
to,
crawling
like,
on
do
all
something
threes.
larger.
There's like kind of like a Tarzan type thing happening, like almost like wilding out, kind of. And
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like scrounging around looking for any telltale sign of other life forms that aren't dinosaurs, like snake people. Checking the perimeter.
All right, roll me a survival check to check for prints or anything like that.
I had a 21.
Oh
Nice, that's a
shit!
good
What
roll.
you doing?
You will see signs that the snake people have traveled through here. You see some of their markings on the trees. Obviously, some of their hunting ground. You don't see any footprints besides like tiny insect and tiny vermin and reptile footprints, but nothing like Vishkanya, nothing that size in this area.
I grunt and I alert my party that snake people have been in this vicinity recently, and then I dig for some worms to eat.
Yeah, roll me a survival check to dig for some worms to eat.
I got a 10.
Yeah, no worms.
I'm just digging then, getting
Yeah.
dirty, kind of rolling around in
Yeah,
it.
you get some dirt in your fingernails.
Look under some rocks.
Can I look under a rock?
Yeah, you can do whatever you like. It's D&D. Perception check to look under a rock. There's a tiny rock, unless it would be a strength check if it's a big rock.
I got a natural 1 when I look under the rock.
There's nothing under that rock. Eric, who is nearby tossing rocks around after you guys finish your 8 hours of boat work for the day. I'm done. They're finished after 8 hours, Karen. They can't do any more work on that.
At 3 months?
Yeah, 3 months. So 1/90th.
I feel like the trail of Lazy Gonzalez has gone real cold.
Do you want to find lazy bones?
I just told the group that snake people had been, like,
I look at
Yeah, there's, like,
Arog
markings and
and I nuzzle him. Lazy bones? Like in like kind of like a question inflection.
I'd love to find him. I really would.
I would like to sniff the air for Vishkanyan.
Alright, you can do that. Roll a perception check to sniff.
I got a natural 25. My perception. Yeah, I got 25.
Obviously, with your huge nostrils, the smell of your companions is the most potent, but you do smell other humanoid life around. Things, as a druid, you're familiar with, like, natural gamey smells of animals, of reptiles. There's definitely, like, a humanoid smell of
Right.
fire and human dung.
I grunt and shuffle the ropes on my body.
Yeah, do a
I
little
wanna,
shoulder thing.
I wanna mount.
Yeah, I'm gonna climb on top of.
Roll me climb checks to climb up there. It only takes a 10 because of the rope, so as long as you roll a 10, you can get up there. Eric, you can join. You're in the area. You just tossed a rock. If you see someone else climbing and you'd like to climb with them.
I got a 17.
You're up there.
I'm up there. 12. We all did it.
18.
Alright, you're all up there. It took Eriku the longest. Well, she only has one arm, so give her a break. You're now up there on the back where the rope is kind of tied around the Kefo's neck. So you're all up there on the back holding onto these ropes. You could be standing, sitting, however you like to mount the back of a dinosaur. But you're up there now, and if the Kefo would like to stand up, you'll be pretty much the same height or a little bit higher than most of the trees here.
I stand up.
Alright, you guys are now high above the clearing. A little bit above the treetops.
I want to see.
We all are perception.
Yeah.
I would like to perceive.
Yeah, everyone can roll a perception from up there.
Perception 7.
I got a 14.
20. Not natural.
So most of you guys don't see anything. Eriku thinks she sees smoke, but it isn't sure. It's sort of like a heat wave kind of vibe in the air, like you see on a desert road, like the oasis kind of vibe. The air looks kind of wavy in the distance. You guys are looking towards the center of the island. But Kefo definitely smells meat now. The smell of cooking meat.
I'm hungry.
Can I roll knowledge nature so I'm so high up to like get a sense of the geography?
You can roll
And then
knowledge
like-
geography to get a sense of the geography. You can roll knowledge nature to get a sense of like the type of trees and
Oh,
so, yeah.
yeah, I'll do that. I'll roll knowledge geography.
Alright, you can do that.
I got a 22.
You can't smell the food like the Kefo, but you get a sense of where you're on the island now. You're up this high, you can kind of see the layout. If you looked around, you can see the shore behind you where your boat was parked. You kind of know your orientation of that direction. You can see ahead of you where the tree line just goes on and then seems to drop off. We're continuing again. You see mountains to the north, or to one side. You see mountains to one side of you. All tall mountains. You see lots of fog, or like, so it seems hazy, somewhat smoky towards the center of the forest, but maybe it's just like a really thick fog.
That's in the center though, it's not up in like towards the mountains.
No, it's just for the center of the island.
And you said it's like kind of like a heat smoke, not like a...
Yeah, it's hard to tell if it's fog or smoke, but it's thick like smoke, but white like fog.
And in the center is where the trees kind of drop off. Is there any other like hot spots around the island besides that, or is that just it's all centered?
I mean, the whole island seems to have that weird haze about it, and it's pretty warm here. I think you guys just assumed it was warm because you're from some other island in the north, like it's just hotter here, but it does seem like exceptionally hot on this island.
I grunt to the party. It's hot.
I grunt back.
It is indeed hot.
You guys are way up high on those dinosaurs' back. See some of those
Okay.
like flying dinosaur birds in the distance, but they seem more towards the center of the island as well, like flying in circles.
Around the hot spot in the center?
I'm loving the heat as a dinosaur.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Loving it. And I also
Feels so good.
don't think we're moving till I decide we move.
pretty much.
No, we're
Pretty
on
much.
your back.
I don't think anyone can force you.
I thought you were smelling.
I thought we were
I'm
gonna-
sniffing, I'm farting, I'm smelling the fart.
Oh, dinosaur.
Can I remember my dragonfly and how dragonfly hide is like cold or whatever? I know that.
Yeah, I think if you already know that, you know that, so yeah.
Can I knowledge nature roll? See if any of the plants and stuff around me look familiar? If I recognize any species?
You may.
I got 10.
No, all the plants here seem very different from the ones you knew about in the donks, and nothing like the ones you knew about when you lived underground. So these are very rare species as far as you're concerned. You don't know a lot about any of them without closer inspection upon a singular one. But in general, everything's
Yeah.
weird.
So I would take it like we spent 8 hours making this boat. It's like night-ish time.
Yeah, it's getting darker.
Can I, like, maybe use the nighttime sky, the moon location, star location to maybe... Moon's location.
Or 3.
You know, from what I knew back at home versus, like, where they are now to know maybe a general location of where we used to be.
With a survival skill, you could probably get like a general idea of like north, south, east, west direction. Geography, maybe, or because this area is so unfamiliar to you, I don't know how you would know.
Right.
A geography would be your best bet.
19!
There are no surviving world maps after the change, so the only mapped area of the world would be New Dorp, where the Donks is, and the other small factions of areas are. So you know you're not near that, but you do know that the New Dorp was thought to survive because it was very far north. So at one point in time was very cold, but is now a livable temperature. So it's one of the few places that survive. So wherever this is much warmer, so you could probably assume farther south. Apart from that, it would be difficult to know where north.
EB North is fine with me.
With the 19, you're pretty positive north.
Yeah, we gotta go
We do
north,
look
guys.
north. I howl at the 3 moons up upon the dinosaur. Oh! Oh! 3 times total, 1 for each
Got it.
moon.
I'm hungry because I've just been eating tree bits all day, and I
still on your
smell
back,
I
so.
smell meat. So I'm gonna start
Walking towards it.
stomping off towards the
Alright,
smell.
the Kefo
of-
starts walking in the direction of the smell. Roll a survival check to stalk that smell.
I got 13.
It's hard to track through the junk. There's a lot of strange smells as you move out of your clearing. Where it gets more dense with trees, other animal smells. You can tell other animals have passed through here recently, but have fled. Now that you're stomping through, you're breaking your way through trees and brush. Your group's like hanging onto these ropes, bobbing up and down. I need everyone to roll me a ride check as you guys get dragged through these trees and stuff.
Hold on.
See if you can hold on.
16!
10.
Uh-oh. Eriku has trouble holding onto a rope with her one arm. So she's flopping around and she's like losing some grip. So you're farther down the rope now. You're not high up on Bakefo's back anymore. You've slid down the rope some. So Bakefo's like swinging on the side of the dinosaur right now, like hitting the rib cage. But like hanging on. You two of you are still up there up top. You see that Bakefo has lost some of her grip and has slid down some as you guys have been drugged through these trees. Eriku's in a little bit of a predicament.
To one person eventually.
I'm sorry, Eriku. Yeah. Eriku's in quite a predicament, hanging onto the rope with one arm. Has slid down some and needs maybe some assistance, or needs to roll, or can just roll a climb check to get back up.
Oh, I can climb?
Yeah, you can do that. Just to get back up on your own.
I would like to help her and maybe,
Yeah, with a strength check, you guys can assist in case she
Me and
needs
Karen would
it.
like to assist.
Yeah,
Eric.
I rolled a 10 again.
It's that one arm, man.
Or not
Natural
life.
20.
Oh, yeah. Erog yanks you back up there. So you're having trouble pulling yourself up with one arm, but Erog just yanks you back up. So you're back up there with him now. But there's now a bunch of slack in your rope, so you're up there with a bunch of rope. And theirs is, theirs is draped down, but yours is all bunched up at the top.
I'm posing off shows like Legolas.
You guys keep riding towards the smell. Roll a perception check.
21.
Natural 1.
I got a 6.
Alright, so Erog and Eriku are pretty distracted with the yanking of the rope and all. But Karen gets a little glimpse, and Bekethel, of course, whose eyes are straight ahead, will notice the trees are getting less dense. You're getting closer to this smell. How was your perception, though?
Mine was a 21.
Now I need you to roll a reflex save.
I got 5 minus 2, so I got 3, but I would like to use my detect snares and pit.
Yeah, you detect one because you're tripping on it right now. You are tripping on what seems to be a large enough tripwire rope, large enough to trip you, or maybe even a piece of wood of some sort, something. You are tumbling forward. Everyone roll a perception check now that Bekethel started to tumble forward.
As we tumble forward, I yell, "Lazy bone!" I got a 9.
I should have done that when we started
So
walking.
10.
I didn't know it was
We didn't really know.
Alright, so Karen, once again, will be you rolled the highest. So Karen will be the one that notices again that as you guys are tumbling forward, the trees break. You guys are now near the center of the island. There seems to be a large, vacuous stone crevasse, like a pit, here in the center of the island. It seems to be a big drop-off. Seems to be like steam rising out of it. And you guys are like tumbling towards it right now as this dinosaur trips and rolls. So you guys are holding on, so roll me climb checks to hold on while this thing flips over.
I got not a natural 20, but a 20.
I got an 8.
14.
Alright, once again, Eriku's having trouble, so Eriku's getting whipped around as you guys trip. At that point, with an 8, Eriku's going to fall off. 16 fall damage. You can do a reflex save to take half.
Yeah, I want to do a reflex.
Yeah, do a reflex save to take half. Yeah, roll that.
Does this guidance thing help me at all?
You can use that for a +1 on this. Yeah, it's a save.
I should use that myself.
I got a 26.
Natural 20.
Alright, well, yeah, then I'll even let you take less than half. What did I say the total was? So instead of 8, I'll even let you just take 6.
Okay, so can I have a cool move as I do this?
Yeah, for sure. With a natural 20, you could do a cool reflex move.
Okay, so I'm gonna do like a Spider-Man move where I get like swung over dinosaur and like I'm
underneath.
holding onto the rope with one arm, but then I do this move where I like catch myself with my feet on the dinosaur and run against the dinosaur back around.
I'm like,
and I plot myself on the dinosaur's back after.
You know what? Because of natural 20, I'll let you roll a second climb check to see if you can plop yourself back up there. If not, you're still going to fall off. But if you roll a good enough climb check, I'll let you say you prop yourself back up there.
Well,
One arm. I will say that you haven't fallen all the way off. You're still dangling, but you did do that cool run stuff and you just re-grab the rope. So you're still back on the side, but you haven't fallen all the way off the dinosaur. So you didn't hit the ground. You're still going to take 6 damage from being banged around a little bit. It's still a very cool move, and you're still hanging on, and you're not totally on the ground. But the dinosaur is tumbling towards a pit. But Kevin's going to another reflex save before you fall into the pit, but if you guys want to do anything before that, you can.
how
Yeah,
far
I
down
don't
is
know
this
if
pit?
I'm gonna go on ourselves.
With a perception check, you can look now that you're close.
But I rolled a 5.
So you don't see how deep it is, yeah. It's steamy. Yeah, the steam, you can't see the bottom.
I got a natural 20.
You hear the hissing and the steaming. You can't tell how deep the pit is, but you can definitely... You see, like, rivulets coming in towards this pit from, like, towards the mountains. There's, like, a little stream that comes in. It looks like some little rivulets from mountains and from little waterways here in the jungles. They go towards the edge, and you see them, like, dripping into the pit. You now know the hissing noise is, like, the sound of water hitting what's below. You could probably guess that's about 80 feet, just by the sound of it. You're not sure, but it sounds like the water falls a long distance before it hits. I'm being a little gracious giving you a number, but that's just for game's sake. You can sort of hear how far the water falls before it steams up.
I know you said we started to head into a clearing, but is there still like nature around us? It's not like there.
Yeah, the trees like stop right before the edge of this crevice.
Oh, perfect. Okay, then my action will be to cast Entangle on ourselves, and I'm using my love of the earth to call to them to wrap their vines around my giant dinosaur body.
Alright, I believe you get a reflex save or something on that. Let me double check and see if it holds you or not. This you actually want to fail, which is what's funny about it, is you actually don't want to do good on the save now. You get to do a reflex save against yourself.
Well, I have -2 as my reflex.
Great.
Ooh, I got an 18 though. -2. 16? 17, yeah.
Can I use an anti-hero point to make her fail worse?
Yeah, you can use the anti-hero point on her to make her be lower than that. She can roll again -8.
Oh,
We want you to
yes.
get tanked.
Yes.
Yes. I would like to use an anti-hero point to make her reflex is worse.
Alright, so then
Yeah,
now,
I'm fumbling.
reroll again, Bakefo, but subtract 8.
If I hadn't cast that, would that have saved me from
Minus
tumbling?
No, I don't. We're tumbling no matter what.
Yeah, you're gonna tell her the entangle might stop you, but you have to fail the reflex save for
Our best.
that to happen.
I don't want to lose this dinosaur.
Me
We just
neither,
got
shit.
it.
So it's gonna be a negative 10 to whatever you get right now.
Okay. It's a 2.
Yeah.
Alright, that's gonna be low enough, I'm sure. Roots and stuff and little vines come up and wrap around you as you start to trip and roll off the edge of the cliff. Mere feet from the cliff. Your head is sort of like dangling over the edge. You're teetering on the edge as the vines are like just holding on as tight as they can.
I would like to use a perception check to look below us.
No, it's great. Yeah, you've got the best vantage point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got 18.
Yeah, steam rises up through your eyes. You see some dark red molten rock, lava, stuff you're familiar with being a dwarf. The molten rock of the earth. Your people used to forge weapons and stuff in, so...
Oh, that's my death below me. I'm like, oh, fuck. But in a real, no, not like soft, like roaring, like,
Yeah,
like
Bakefo roars in fear. You guys are all hanging on by your ropes.
I have to climb up.
You can roll a climb to climb all the way back up if you like.
We could all try to climb back up and then, like, place
Oh.
it back.
A climb is a strength check, so I'm gonna go into a rage.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, you go into a rage. And, yeah.
Got a +4 to my check. So I'm gonna try and climb back up and just get on level ground so I can try to help.
Are we dangling over the side, or are we just?
Yeah.
We're dangling. I wasn't on your head. I was on your back.
She's dangling more than you guys are.
You bet.
Yeah, I got a 24.
Try.
24 is good enough, so you're back up on the back of the dinosaur with everybody else.
Like, I want to pull as much of my weight against my climb back up to try and like pull the 60-foot dinosaur.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I think Bakefo a little large for you to pull Bakefo back up by yourself with one arm. Bakefo is on her side, is dangling, like I said, just barely hanging on. Like the vines are what's keeping you guys here right now, and barely. Roll a perception check though as you were climbing back up, Eriku.
I got a 1.
You don't notice. Alright, so you guys are all back up on the back of Bakefo, who's, like I said, barely hanging on. If these vines, like I said, the vines are stretching, you hear them like creaking. This is holding you, that this probably won't hold you forever. Matter of fact, this spell only lasts for a minute per level, which is 1 minute right now. So you got.
And we climb down and give her a go old heave ho just in case.
You guys can try to climb down and heave ho a dinosaur.
Grab her jewel off the dinosaur's tooth. I'm gonna run and try to get your rock off of the dinosaur's tooth.
Do what you gotta do.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Alright, so Eric, I need you to climb to get towards where the tooth is.
Which is a +2 right now, so I'm gonna try and
I'm
get to
gonna
your.
climb back to safety.
I got a natural 20.
Eric, who managed to get out there, you're now hanging on to the nostrils of Bakefo. You've climbed all the way out on the face. You're hanging there, and the steam's all around you. You can now also see the red bubbling lava like 80 feet or so below. It's like dangling from the tooth.
Until you get on.
Well, if you're gonna, this dinosaur's gonna fall, regardless if your spell's
Right,
gonna
as
break.
soon as you take
Yeah,
me
once
off,
you're-
it's
well,
gonna
no.
not be.
But I think also as soon as your spell finishes, which you only have a minute for, that dinosaur's going anyway.
No, I know. I'm just saying. She's in a mouth right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's
I'm on
true.
top
Yeah.
of the mouth.
Keep it on like the roof of the
I'm climbing
mouth.
safety.
But this was a 26 climb, by the way, not just a natural 20.
Yeah, you're up there. You're good. Like I said, you're all right at the
Alright.
nose, you're just hanging on. You haven't fallen or anything. You're doing a great job.
About how much time has passed right now? Like, how can I gauge how much time I have before the spell wears off right now?
You don't know how long the spell lasts without a knowledge arcana check, but you can hear the
How
creaking
far
of the
away?
vines, so.
How far away would it be to jump after I grab the dinosaur's necklace? Like,
10, 15 feet maybe?
I know I would have to like roll an acrobatics for that. Can that be part of me grabbing the necklace itself, like in like one swoop to grab
You
it?
can swift move, grab the necklace. I might require a reflex save at that point to see if the dinosaur like wakes up and has a chance to like bite at you or attack you one time. So then after the reflex save, then you can do the acrobatics.
I look at you
I'm
both.
gonna go ahead and climb off the dinosaur
I just
to
wanna,
safety.
Alright, Karen climbs
I'm
down.
gonna let you go.
I got a natural 20.
Yeah, you climb down just fine. So you're back. You're in the entangled part of the stuff now. All right, so you're caught in the vines. So you climb down, and then the vines wrap around your legs too. So now you're having trouble to move, but you have gotten off the dinosaur. You're just down, stuck in these little vines now. Arog, you're still in the back of Bakefo the dinosaur.
Yeah, I climb off of that bitch.
All right, so roll a climb check to climb down as well.
9. I rolled a 9.
So you're having trouble climbing. You're not all the way down yet. You haven't fallen or anything, but you're not all the way off the dinosaur. You're like halfway down your rope-ish. So if the dinosaur falls, you're still with it right now. Back to Eriku. You're about to snatch this thing. Ready? You need to do a reflex save to snatch it out of its tooth and get away before it reacts.
I got a 10.
My dexterity is just a little bit higher than that, so that's going to be enough. So I get to roll. Oh, natural 20,
What?
which is a 43, so I know that's a hit. That's going to be a lot of damage.
Alright, can I use an anti-hero point to make your roll less?
Yeah, I get to have to reroll if I do that. So anti-hero point, I'll reroll minus 8. This time I got a natural 1. So instead of me biting at you, the dinosaur is gonna slip and fall off of this cliff. So I need you to roll your acrobatics check to jump off in time. Aaron, you can do the same if you want to try to leap off, but you both might take some damage from falling. Or you can hang on and dangle from the dinosaur.
I gotta jump off with the necklace.
Eriku jumps off with the necklace, just barely makes it to the edge of the cliff.
No, exactly. Aaron would not just hold on to the rope. But he's only on a 10 acrobatics.
So you're going to take some damage when you leap off. So you're going to leap off and land in the thorns as well. You're going to take 5 fall damage. So you guys are now witnessing the dinosaur topple over the edge of the cliff to hear it roaring. Roll a perception check.
Yeah, I got a 2. Exactly what I expected.
So I want to say, like, as I jump down, I clutch Bekeffo's stone in my hand, and I want my primal disregard for my own life and safety for Bekeffo to be acknowledged by my DM. And I got 11 perception, because I was whispering this to myself.
You see stuff around you, but you don't see what I need you to see right now. So, Bekeffo, you're inside of a crystal, but you can still roll a perception check to see if you get a vibe.
Can I take over Eriku's body?
Yeah, I'd still be.
If the rock is touching Eriku, yeah.
If I perceive a vibe, can I take her over after?
Yeah, of course. You can roll a perception or arcana to feel a vibe.
Those vibes are! I got 14.
You definitely sense a vibe.
I take over Eriku.
I'm mid-range, FYI. Mid-range.
I don't know.
You take over Eriku's body. Do you allow it, or because you're raged, do you fight it?
I allow it.
Alright, so your body gets taken over. You're now in a larger version of Eriku's body than normal. So you're all big. You're big and beefy. Not as big as a dinosaur, but you're a bigger version of Eriku. You're in her body.
Eriku's eyes a little bit. Thinking about the lava. And I whimper. Ooh, 12.
So you guys do not notice right away. So here you guys are. Most of you are probably stuck in these vines, so it's hard to walk right now. You're being like, every step you take, you're getting like caught in these thick vines that haven't vanished yet. At least for the next.
Can I dispel the vines?
Yeah, they're yours, so you can end the spell. You can discharge it. Vines go away, so you guys can move a little more freely. Roll a perception check after Bekeffo clears the vines. Maybe that'll help.
2.
Doesn't help Arahog. We're Kieran.
20, not natural.
Alright, so at this point you will notice something suspicious. Now that the vines are gone, there appears to be a rope or a line leading from a very large cluster of trees tied in a very strange knot formation, dangling down into the pit.
I'm gonna hold that rope. I'm gonna like pick it up.
Alright, you can't lift the rope at all. It's too heavy. It's like taut and on the ground, and you cannot lift it, but that might get everyone else's attention to see there's a rope there now.
I touch it with Erika's strong arm, and I kind of tug on it, like from the tree. You know, just do it. Like if you saw a rope, you would just like kind of tug on it.
Yeah.
Just pull on it.
And I look at them. I want to go look over the edge.
Alright, roll a perception check to look over the edge.
My double vision. This rope is going to edge. Yeah.
That's what he said, yeah.
I got a natural 20.
Natural.
The Gigantosaurus, the large dinosaur Bekeffo inhabited, is dangling over the edge of the pit by its leg, a few feet above the lava, like dangling there now, roaring.
Oh, it was like
We
a
need
snare
to
trap.
save it. Guys, the dinosaur has
I'm
not
not
fallen
watching.
all the way in. It is dangling by its leg on this rope. Can I talk to it?
It's kind of far away, but you're able to yell to it, yeah?
Yell at it.
I lean over the edge and yell and
Dinosaur at the dinosaur.
hey, want us to save you?
Yes?
How do we save it though?
And then I'm like, if we save you, will you not eat us?
Sound like Rachel Fantastic.
I'll consider it.
I'm down.
I'm gonna need better than that.
Diplomacy.
No, we
Be
weren't
sassy
going
like
down.
dinosaur too. That's being rude.
I got 7.
Lizard brain.
Alright, I think we should put it out of its misery. It's probably terrified right now.
I can't lift that thing. I'm strong, but I
I'm
can't
not
lift
as
the 3,000 pound
strong
dinosaur.
Roll a perception check as you guys are having this discussion.
17! It worked out for me.
Out from the jungle behind some trees walks an old Vishkanyan man in a cane. He looks startled to see you, laughs a little bit, and points towards the pit and says, "Looks like we caught something."
Yeah, we did. It's a big old dinosaur. Are you Lazy Bonzales?
As a matter of fact, I am. Who are you?
I'm just crouched in Erica's body, looking over the edge the whole time. I'm not gonna say anything.
We've been looking for you.
Take a look at what's dangling off the edge.
He'll
Yeah,
peek
come
over
on.
the edge and see the giant dinosaur. Oh my! Well, that's not good.
Yeah, I think we should just let him fall in the volcano. What do you
Yeah, you got any ideas?
Well, there's not too many of these left. Be ashamed to see this one go, but I don't know how we'd get it back up.
Right? What are the other options?
Yeah, we don't know how either.
Unless we got like everybody pull him up.
I got a dire boar dangling off the other side of the pit over there. I was gonna have that for dinner.
Oh, it's
I
like
was
a
smoking
slow
it.
roast? Maybe just leave
I was
him
making
here.
some boar jerky, and I was just checking my other traps. This is quite a big haul, but I don't know what I would do with it. I wouldn't feel right eating it. I guess I'd leave it there for the other dinosaurs to peck at. The dinosaurs' birds. That'd be just dinosaurs' birds' food. But would you like to join me for some dire boar?
You know what? Dire boar sounds delicious.
It's been smoking in this pit. It's pretty heavy for me to lift alone. I'm glad I found you. Let's go get it.
That sounds awesome, Lazy Gonzalez. We're just gonna leave this big motherfucker here to just do his own dangly thing.
I'm sure after a couple days he'll start jerking up too.
Right? And then we got food for days, right?
Except for I have to climb down there to get it because it's too heavy to lift. But yeah, it's just free food, I guess.
I lean forward and look at the dinosaur and I make like a face. And I'm like, if you've got any information that would be useful to me to let me save your life, now'd be the time to tell me that. But like in simple language.
And then with a dinosaur voice also.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
a shrug and
Yeah, his brain's not very big. I don't think he has a whole lot of information to share. Besides, it's really hot down here.
Kind of.
You guys might call other dinosaurs to come help and pull them out, but then
The dinosaur almost bit your arm off last game.
I'm not worried about saving him.
It straight up was like, nah, I'm not eating.
Eric is Chili Rumbles.
Tortured by, like, slowly dying of heat. Can we
I
just
feel like
chop him down?
I feel like you might chop him down.
You
Chop
can.
him down.
Yeah, you can do that if you like. Would you like to chop the rope?
Yes.
Alright, Karam goes over and chops the rope.
I want to talk to, not take offense.
Check with Lazy first. Yeah, roll me diplomacy to see if you can do it without offending him.
It's a mercy thing. These are
Yeah,
your like.
I tell him, I was like, out of the kindness of my heart, I don't feel right leaving this poor defenseless animal to
The slow roast.
come
I'm gonna use Eric's axe to help.
17.
I think it's going to go very well, and he also worships the dinosaurs, so he might agree with you. It's a sacred creature, and you're right, it's not some lowly creature like a boar. We should probably, I probably wouldn't feel right eating it anyway. You're right, and the other dinosaur's just going to peck at it. It's a great beast and deserves an honorable death if you want to chop it down.
As a
He'll
druid,
understand.
I also do not like it hanging there, so I'm gonna help you chop it off with
You should do a
Eric's
prayer
axe.
before you do it.
Yeah,
that's what I
do
was
a prayer
thinking.
and then we'll all chop the rope.
Alright.
Alright, Kara makes a big deal out of it, and you guys do the whole thing. Lazy Gonzalez watches in interest, leaning on his cane. Lazy Gonzalez is curious to see how you honor his gods. Since the dinosaur is one of their...
Oh wait, I'm gonna take a knee.
Crouched looking down at the dinosaur. Sorry.
May your path into the light be easy. Carry blessings of you as your journey to the great Almighty I am a day. Have her glory shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the blessing of holy light descend upon you and remain with you and throughout your journey. Whatever.
And you all chop?
Did he
Yeah, I'm gonna let out a roar first. Ah, and then chop.
Alright, all three of you chop at the same time as Lazy Gonzalez watches. The creature falls into the lava. You guys get 4,250 experience points each.
That's level 2 at the very least. What, 4,000 something?
4,250 each.
Yeah!
Halfway through that chop release with the dinosaur, I'm gonna go back into my stone and let Erica retake her body.
Erica, you're back in control. You now see, you're gonna come to, like, as soon as the chop ends, so you're gonna, like, see, you're gonna come to just as your axe hits this rope. So you're seeing, like, the cut of a rope, and then looking up, and then, like, hearing the sploosh of lava, and the big creature roaring. And obviously, what just happened is you can put two and two together. That big dinosaur just fell in a lava pit.
I almost like just like a rushing sense of like excitement from waking up and witnessing this, and I just let out like a big old roar, which is a good like transitional thing to leveling up, and I'm just like wild screeching. I guess mixes of hooty hoos and like howls.
That's all.
And, like,
Yeah, you guys are having a great time. Lazy Gonzalez laughs at your youthful exuberance. After you guys have cut loose the gigantic dinosaur, you head back towards Lazy Gonzalez's camp near his boar dinner.
Yeah, her rage
Can I
power.
announce what rage power I chose?
You can announce it, yes, please.
I chose for rage power Animal Fury. With Animal Fury, while raging, the barbarian gains a bite attack, so I can bite people.
After your recent adventure with a large dinosaur and releasing it to the pit of fire are heading back to Lazy Gonzalez's camp with him, where he's got a dire board dangling in the same pit, ready for you guys to either climb down there and cut off a couple pieces or help him yank it up to have a full feast, whichever you guys prefer. So you guys are heading through the jungle back to Lazy Gonzalez's camp. I rolled that the thunder and lightning storm, you guys still see that near the coast, is moving in closer. I mean, it's already kind of late at night, so it's already dark, but there's definitely dark clouds overhead, flashes of lightning, rain coming in this direction. It hasn't hit you guys yet. Still in the area of your old camp. But it's headed this way as you guys reach Lazy Gonzalez's camp, where he's got very small makeshift Vishkanya, like little hut set up, like similar to the one you saw on Vishkanya Island. And dangling over the edge of the cliff is another rope. Dead dire boar hanging there, already smoked.
Okay, I'm gonna help him pull it up.
I'm hanging around your neck.
Yeah, I put you around my neck.
If he's toasty enough, I'd like to pull it up as well.
I am meditating Eriku's heartbeat.
You guys are yanking junk up, so everyone else roll strength checks to yank up this dire boar. You know what?
14 as well.
Just because I can rage extra and like everything's really exciting right now, I'm gonna remain raging
Okay.
because I'm like really pumped up.
You can, yeah.
I like it.
18.
So I got 18 and 19, and you guys get the thing pretty close. It's probably 9 or 10 feet away. I'll see if the old man can help at all.
Help us out!
I rolled high enough, and Lazy Gonzalez is strong. He's got old man strength. He's stronger than he looks. He helps you guys yank it up over the edge. You guys now have a full boar feast here laid out in front of you. Looks like it's been slow cooking for days. Delicious meat. You guys have a full feast laid out in front of you, and if you're hanging out, having a late night under the stars, it's at least midnight or later at this point. All the moons are out. You hear the tons of insects and other creatures like making their nighttime noises, but you guys are having a laugh.
I'm in those creatures making nighttime noises. You guys hear? Just saying. I'm like chirping and also like howling a bit.
Eriku participates in
Hanging on
nighttime
the corner of
noise.
camp and just, like, become one with animals. That's cool.
He does not have a fire maintained, but luckily enough, moonlight and starlight here, you guys can sort of it. If you have dark vision, you can see better. If you can't, it's hard to see more than 5 feet in front of you. But you guys are pretty closely huddled eating this pig meat late at night, so share food and water and whatever else you have and have a nice night. Rest here with Lazy Gonzalez. You feel like it's pretty safe. He feels like it's safe, and he's old, and he doesn't seem to be worried. You guys feel comfortable. You fall asleep in Lazy Gonzalez's camp next to the Great Fire Pit on Dinosaur Island after a pork feast. After the end of a long night of eating boar beef jerky and hanging out with Lazy Gonzalez, you guys fall asleep at his campsite, which he seems to move around near his traps. Wherever there's food, he moves his camp to the food, but there was food here, and there seems to be plenty, so his camp was probably going to be here for at least some period of time. You guys fall asleep in the safety of this little enclave, very temporary shelter, built very similar to the ones back on Snake Island. It's something they do, like sticks and leaves, nothing really fancy. You guys have a place to rest and keep your heads dry, right near the edge of this warm, steamy pit.
Nice.
So you can roll a D8 plus con to get HP back if you need any, and in the morning you can take an hour to regain your spells as long as you have all the things you need to do that with. Okefu is pressed between Eriku's bosom. You have an hour to prepare your spells and stuff. Lazy Gonzalez, even with a base 10 perception check, seems to have left campsite by the time you guys wake up in the morning. He's gone, but you guys are still safe here. There's still a boar dang off the side of the mountain with plenty of meat for later, so if you want a snack, it's there. But you guys are safe in this little camp. Seems to have decent coverage. Still some of those flying dinosaur birds like hovering over the top of this steamy pit, but not much else.
How large are those dinosaur birds?
It's far away, so it's hard to tell, but you guys have ridden on some before, seen them before. They're large.
Okay.
I crawl over to the floor, hanging on all threes, and I start gnawing at it.
So yeah, you can nibble on it and then push it back over the side whenever you're done if you want to keep it cooking. Before it starts getting germs and stuff. Worms and germs.
We're near a volcano, right? Is there any chance that I might be able to find some around in the area?
Yeah, if you're willing to climb down into the pit.
Can I take a look around without climbing down? Maybe in just the general area of the camp. And then maybe I'll go in the volcano later.
You can. You can just perception check around.
I got a 19.
You don't see any up here, but you do see some of the streams that are like trickling down into this molten pit. And that's where a lot of the steam coming up at. You could probably assume there's some obsidian pits near where those things are. And if you've looked down the pit before, there are like small few inches, like outcroppings of rock that maybe you could climb down. Maybe roll a perception check if you're looking around down there.
Can I look around down there specifically? Fuck, I got a 1.
You don't see
Natural.
anything. Yeah. It's too steamy. Steam gets in your eyes. It's real steamy. Steam. You look down by the water. Steam.
But I am now wary of that area, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, because can be sharpened like glass. They make great arrow tips. They're good for a lot of stuff. Good daggers too. You guys will see
If I
arrow
do
get steamed.
This obsidian, can I jam it in some of it into my shield to give myself some shield spikes?
You can make
Like a
shield
wooden
spikes. It might take several of them to make enough to make it a spiked shield
Right.
by the stat companion
Yeah,
side. But yeah,
like 50 or so on it.
yeah, it's possible to do that if you had enough. You could put shards on your. I would say if it was a wooden shield, you probably
Right.
find some way to. You're a weapons crafter.
Well, I'm gonna go down to that volcano eventually, guys.
Right. You see Aragana's face steamed.
I totally
Eriku and Kara might giggle seeing you get steam in your face, like Puff just comes up and like wafts you.
I like do this weird hyena, a wild laugh.
What happened?
Didn't really have much else to do other than talk to Lazy Bonzales, so.
I want to go check my trap,
Are you
please.
saying this as a character?
Yeah, it's down, well,
You see it?
I'm pretty sure it's down there.
I don't know what that is. I nod.
Arag's a weapon maker, he might
You make
explain it to
foam
you.
with it.
Obsidian is like glass.
Yeah, and it's very rare where you guys come from. He's heard of it, a lot of weapon makers still get it, but it's definitely a rare material.
Is it against innocent people? Unless you have
Use it to get us the fuck off this island. Or kill shit, I don't know. See what happens first. So that's on my agenda. What about...
It's on the agenda for today.
I'm gonna go check my trap. How far away is it?
branches, so I'm gonna make arrows.
Maybe like a 10, 15-minute walk from here.
I walk on all threes into the forest alone.
Gonna roll a survival check to find your trap.
I got a 6. I keep rolling 6s.
So you become a little lost in the woods. You can't find your trap. You also can't find your way back. Now you're now like lost alone. You're on all threes, you're looking around. Can't find your trap, and you also seem to have lost your way back as well.
I stop, and I'm squatting, and I close my eyes. I'm not gonna poo. Don't worry. I start praying to my goddess for like guidance.
While you poop.
My goddess is all about pleasure and
Hey, there's nothing like a poop in the woods.
wild and free, like becoming one with nature.
Free poop.
And what are you praying about in particular? Anything?
Thinking about how much I want to bite people, but I can do that now. And just like, I feel like I've been slowly losing my sense of humanity. I just am searching for
becoming
some
wild.
sort of guidance.
You're regressing. I like it. So roll diplomacy with your god and see if you get any guidance. Or a religion.
Okay, I'll do religion. I got a 14.
So your god will tell you to look up.
I look up. I open my eyes. And I'm still in a rage, also.
Perception check. To rage, look up.
23.
There's those stupid-ass dinosaur birds you don't like.
Yeah.
Flying around in circles.
How far up are they?
Pretty high up. Above the tree line. See some steam rising up above the tree line, sort of where they are.
Is there like a tree that goes up to where they are?
There's a tree that'll take you closer to where they are, but they're flying above the tree line. You can go up in a tree and still be closer to them. The trees here are pretty big.
Even though I'm in my rage, I crouch back. I'm still crouching. I'm looking up, and I'm silently like cursing and swearing revenge at them. Mostly, they sound like guttural, like grunts. And I also take my goddess's old advice of revenge is a dish best served cold. And I know that the longer I wait, the more like savory the revenge is going to be. And I try to find my trap again.
Alright, roll a survival check to look for your trap again. You think looking up did give you your bearings? You saw where the dinosaur birds are, so that gives you a direction of back where you just came from. Maybe with a new survival check, you'll find out your bearings.
I stab the dinosaur birds with my heart. I got a 16.
With a 16, you're able to find the area you think your trap is in. You haven't found your trap yet, but you think you're in the right area. And still no encounters. Pretty quiet, besides the sound of like insects and stuff.
I get really low to the ground. I'm like army falling, and I'm like searching for clues to where my trap is, so also I don't like trigger it myself. Getting real dirty in the dirt.
Alright, roll a perception check.
I got a 20, not natural.
Alright, Thad, the wind's gonna pick up a little bit, and you're gonna hear a sound. You can go towards the sound if you want. I guess that's the next.
Slowly creep towards the sound as to be like very like sneaky and hunting it and with one arm.
Skulk towards this creature. Roll for initiative. I rolled a natural 1, which equals a 3, so you're probably gonna go first.
12.
Yeah, you get to go first. So roll a perception check now that you've come upon this creature.
13.
There is a 3-foot tall, 6-foot long, about 50-pound, small, slender-necked dinosaur with sort of like a bird-like beak, very inquisitive eyes.
Is it like the one that tried to feed me to its babies?
No.
Not like the ones flying either?
Nope, it's a different creature than you've seen before. Somewhat striped, has like reddish stripes down its back. It's similar to the other ones you saw, bird-like and dinosaur-like at the same time, but slightly different. Long tail.
Does it know I'm there?
You have initiative, so not yet.
How far away am I from it?
Probably about 40, 60 feet,
Okay, I'm gonna move up as close to as I can
which is
without
what, 30 feet per turn.
without startling it.
Alright, so you're now 10 feet away from it or so.
So, and it's in my bear trap, right? Like, real good.
It's caught. That's why I was screeching. It seems to be, it even sounds sort of like a child scream, which is weird. It sounds like a humanoid type scream.
I'm real grossed out by that fact. So, like, I stand up and I draw my axe and I charge toward it to try to chop it real good. And I scream for my goddess. I'm like, I chop thee with my heart.
Alright, well, you're still 10 feet away, so you can't chop it yet, but you are coming at it.
Well, that is what I'm going to do. But so I guess I'm going to make sure I'm in a barbarian rage.
You're raging out, running at it.
Alright, well, I don't know what else I can do.
Nothing yet. It does see you now. It smells you, sees you. It's looking at you, screaming, looking at you with its inquisitive eyes. Big inquisitive eyes. Dopey, sad, inquisitive eyes looking right at you, crying. As you come at it with your axe, it can't reach you to do anything. It doesn't even seem to be trying to bite you. It seems to just be in a panic that its foot is caught in your trap. As you come at it with your axe.
Do I sense any sort of humanity coming from this thing?
Sense motive, maybe?
18.
It seems to have like a dumb innocence to it, sort of a curiosity, a lot like pets you may have had as a kid, even though a lot of them might have been like vermin and reptiles and stuff that you were able to find and keep hidden. But it does have that trainable sort of aspect to it. It doesn't seem to want to do you any harm. It just seems panicked to be caught in this trap.
That starts giving me flashbacks of my village life, which is not a good thing to bring up.
Yeah, especially mid-rage.
I'm in a rage, and so I attack it and I try to chop its head off.
Take that, pets from childhood.
Fuck my childhood, and I rage, but it's like just animal noises, and I dedicate this emotional kill to my goddess.
Alright, roll that attack.
22.
It's a hit.
That head chopped off?
You have to roll the damage.
Sounded like it had a skinny neck.
It does. It did roll the damage to find out.
Oh, sweet. I did 12 damage.
You very nearly cut its neck off. It is bleeding to death. It is 1 hit point away from death. It's nearly felled. Matter of fact, on its turn, it's going to bleed out and die. So.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so I didn't chop its head all the way off. So I'm going to walk over to it, and I'm going to put 1 foot on top of it, and I'm going to reach down and hold its skinny neck, and I'm going to rip its head off.
Alright, it goes from unconscious to dead if you roll a strength check to rip its head off. You tear the head off this little dinosaur.
Yay!
Nice.
You get 400 experience points.
So I reach to my goddess and rub blood all over me, and I pick up its neck head and I put it in my pocket, and then I grab the other part of it by the tail and I sling it over my back.
Yeah, 50 pounds, so you can do that with a 5. It takes you nothing. You sling it over your shoulder like it's a sack of potatoes. No problem.
And then I use my fast movement to fucking running with it back to camp.
Alright, you'll use your sense of bearings from before where you saw the birds and the steam and run that direction?
Yeah, my goddess is guidance. I'm going to run back to the camp and I'm going to choose my feet.
While you're running. Yeah, that's what I was hoping. Back at camp, Eriku has slunked off alone.
If I give you the branches, you arrows for me.
Sure, I can start them.
Alright, I just hand him my 14 branches.
Alright, you give Arok some branches to start working on.
I start preparing them to become arrows, but I want to use the obsidian that we are going to try to get as the arrowhead.
So you're just making the shafts right now.
I'm making the shafts right now.
So if you just want to roll 1 craft check, and that'll be your next 8 hours of day.
We're 15.
Since there's 14, I'll say that's enough to get all of them done. If you'd rolled lower than a 14, I'd say you're not done yet. But you rolled over 14, so in 8 hours you'll be done making those 14 into arrow shafts. Not full
I
arrows.
have 33 branches altogether.
You have 17 of them done then, at 8 hours. And you can do the rest later, but in 8 hours you can finish 17. Karam, do you do anything during the 8 hours that Arok is doing this work?
I'm gonna take an hour to meditate.
You may do that.
Do some praying.
About anything in particular, or just general religiosity?
I guess I got one I can more to myself. My path be one of compassion, that I never raise my hand in anger, but in the defense of others and myself, that I never ignore a plea for help, that I never ignore a call for mercy, that I may always extend my hand to those in need, that I never shun one who is willing the light. Amen.
Diplomacy or religion, whichever one works better for you.
15.
Then I need you to roll a perception check.
12.
You think you hear a noise coming from the pit.
I gotta check out very slowly, peek over.
Roll another perception as you peek over the edge of the pit.
6.
Steam comes up in your face. You can't see, but you still thought you hear something down there.
Wave the steam away from my face, clear my eyes better, and look again.
Alright, roll a perception check to look again through the steam with your elven eyes. Or half-elven.
10.
Still all that steam, it's hard to see what's down there. It's like looking through fog. You swear you hear something, but you can't see what it is. You definitely hear something.
I'm gonna try it one more time. I'm gonna get closer to get on my belly and look over real quick, kind of through my fingers.
Make a finger shield. Try one final time with a new technique.
I can do this. 14.
Still having trouble. You definitely think you hear an animal calling now, but you still can't see it, you can't place it, but you're sure you hear something, but you still can't see it. Definitely something down there.
Can I maybe perhaps sense which side of the crater is coming from?
You definitely think it's nearby. It's definitely not like on the other side of the crater. I think it's somewhere near where you are. Close enough that you can hear it, so yeah.
I think I'm gonna look for a big rock around.
Roll a perception check to look for a big rock.
11.
It takes you a while. You have to wander a little bit farther away from camp to find one, so you're kind of like out of Aragog's eyesight now. But there's a big 70-pound rock once you've wandered off a little bit.
70 pound?
Yep.
Alright.
And Aragog looked pretty like engrossed in his work whenever you walked away. You didn't tell him about the thing you heard. He just saw you kind of look over the edge and then wander off. Alright, roll a strength check to lift a 70-pound rock. Natural 1. You do not pick up the rock. Matter of fact, it's not a rock. Turns out this is some sort of creature. Roll for initiative.
5.
You got a 5, I got an 18. The rock you were trying to pick up turns to be a large, lumbering turtle.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It tries to bite at you, though. 22. It's gonna do 7 damage. It reaches out with its long neck and bites at you.
Power of Paladin's aura is good. Yeah, I'm gonna do handle animal and say, apologies, friend.
You speak in common to an animal. That shows how good you are at handling animals. That's just... Hopefully this is a good roll.
19. Oh, thank goodness.
So while the tortoise can't understand what you're saying, you do exude an aura of good, and it seems a bit confused. It's going to shirk its head and stuff extremities back inside of its shell. So now it's just a big shell there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave him be and look for another rock.
Alright, you tiptoe backwards away from the big tortoise. Roll a perception check to look for another rock, or survival.
19.
You are unable to find any other large rocks. You do find 4 small black rocks, all together a pound.
I pick them up anyways. Go back towards where I heard the noise.
Okay.
Put one down.
You
Where I
throw
think I heard
one of these rocks.
Just one of them.
So now you have 3 left. You hear it ploop after falling a really long way.
See if I hear that noise anymore.
You may. Perception check.
6. I'm
You do not.
gonna try to look again.
Alright, roll a
See if
perception
I
check to
see
look over the edge.
20. Not natural.
Alright, you peek over the edge, you find a spot where there's not a bunch of steam coming up. You peek down, look around, you see what looks like a nest. Short distance down side of this cliff going down towards the molten area. There's a nest tucked away in a little cave on the inside of this cliff.
I don't like the looks of that. Maybe there's a little kid.
So roll a survival check to find your way back to Arag.
Wait, is there a bird child or a child?
You get lost on your way back trying to find Arag. You don't find Arag, you're still in the woods somewhere, you got turned around.
Scream for him.
Perception check Arag to see if you hear that.
I rolled a natural 20.
Alright, you hear someone calling out your name. Would you like to yell back?
Gotcha.
Half elf.
I'm gonna be like, what do you want?
Alright, roll a perception check, Karam, to see if you hear that. You don't hear him say it back. He didn't say it very loud, I guess.
Alright, well, I guess him not responding worries me a bit, so I put down my arrows. Let me go find this fool.
Alright, roll a survival check to go find this fool.
Can I start to climb a tree?
You can roll a climb check to climb a tree.
I rolled a 15.
12.
Alright, you're about 12 feet up a tree when Arag approaches. Roll for initiative.
14.
Actually, 19.
Karam, you will see a creature rapidly approaching through the brush towards Arag from the side. Its initiative is going to be a 10. There's a pack of 12 of these things coming right for Arag. They're about 15 feet long, not that tall. You're high enough off the ground they're not going to get you, but they're coming right at Arag, and a whole herd of them, 12 of them, whole pack.
How big are these things?
Prehistoric crocodiles, but with long spiny backs, like a fan blades on their back almost. A fin, yeah. With the knowledge of nature, I could give you the name and stuff, but they're like squat reptilians with massive sails on their backs. They're stalking forward, very fast twitch muscles. Did anyone beat 10 initiative?
Yeah, I rolled I got 19.
Yeah, so you're both good. You can go before these things go.
12 of them now?
I guess so.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch. 30, 60 feet away.
Can I yell at them to watch out?
Yeah, you can yell them to watch out. I'm sure he hears them coming though, because they're, you see things moving. Karam looks safe up in that tree.
Ready my crossbow.
I'm gonna climb a tree as well. That seems like the safe thing to do.
Alright, you roll a climb check to climb a tree.
I got some extra points in climb. I might as well be climbing shit. I got a 16.
You're about 16 feet up too. Luckily, it's high enough these things can't reach you. And they just kind of like rush by in a big pack, maybe hunting something, maybe in their move somewhere. The whole pack like rushes by, shakes everything around you. Their fan blades that are on their back, their fin kind of area, come really close to your feet. As you guys are just like hanging up in some trees nearby. But after a moment passes, you guys are alone again. They've passed through your area.
No, we don't do well with packs of creatures. I've noticed that, so fucking around with 12 dinosaurs.
Can I look around some more?
Yeah, from up in the tree.
20, not natural.
You will see one of the large dinosaur birds, pterodons, I guess you don't know their name, but one of the dinosaur birds carrying down another large animal in its claws, spiraling down into the steamy pit.
Like a knowledge or something to see what kind of dinosaur it's carrying or what it is carrying. 10.
Something large and furry, obviously a mammal, but you can't tell what kind.
Do I see this dinosaur? Can I roll?
You can roll perception check, so you're up in a tree, that's not a problem.
I got a 17.
Yeah, you see it too.
So we're clear. I'm gonna climb back down the tree, and I'm gonna go over to the edge of the volcano and see where this flying dinosaur is taking that lump, that thing.
Alright, you guys can go roll perception checks as you stare over the edge.
Well, I saw that.
You didn't tell me, but that thing's
Yeah, he
interesting,
just
so I can
rolled
go.
up, he was screaming in the woods, and Danielle had to climb a tree.
I can't
I was
remember.
a dinosaur. I got an 8.
I got an as well.
Nice.
Alright, so it's steamy, you guys can't see, but Karam, you did have previous knowledge if you want to inform Eric what you saw before.
Can't see it right now, but there's a cave with a nest in it and
You
some
saw a
eggs
nest?
in it. Yeah, and I wonder if that thing's going to the nest.
Very well could be.
I don't like those things.
I'm gonna
I-
peer down again looking for this nest.
Perhaps find our teammate or like Lazy Gonzalez or something.
I feel like I need to do a little investigation. I might not go down there. I just want to go
Those
right.
things might be like trying to get more
Ah,
food.
you got me again. I rolled a 6.
Yeah. You try to look down again, you still can't see. The steam's too thick. It's like looking into a cloud.
Well, I'm sorry,
like,
I got
I'm
you
gonna
on
have to
the
sound
field.
breathe really well.
Crocodile looking dinosaur.
Oh no, no big deal. We live a life of adventure.
Yeah. But you gotta get back to work. You still got several hours of arrow making to go.
You okay out here?
I'm good. I just got a little lost and scared for a moment.
Okay, I'm gonna go finish these arrows up.
Alright, so roll a survival check to go back to your, if you like the same camp area there, Arog, where you left your stuff.
17.
Yeah, you find your way back. Kiram, do you follow or do you stay out here?
Follow.
Alright, you follow, you're back at the camp now. Eriku, have you made your way back yet?
Yeah, can I also say I put my bear trap back on my back and, like, picked it up? I didn't leave it.
We can say
Okay.
that. I'll allow that.
Hardcore, like, ran as hard as I could in my rage back to camp.
Roll me a
And
survival
I-
check to make sure you got there.
14.
You come running out of the woods. Roll a perception check.
15.
You're still full sprint as the forest is about to come to an end, like there's about to drop off to the pit. Realize that as you're full sprint, you also look over the side and realize there's Arog and Karam like 30 feet to your, or 60 feet to your left.
I do a really badass skid right
Right.
to the edge.
You just like stop right at the edge, just barely. An inch away from the edge, like cartoon style. Dust is
Yeah.
sticking up.
Like-
You like lean forward over the edge, then wobble way far back. Yeah, like you stand up straight like a rake. You stop right at the edge.
I look over at them with the wildest of expressions. Like wide-eyed and covered in blood. I'm like heaving like really heavily. I'm still in a rage.
Calm down. You can always tune in next time for more. The Other Dungeon.
This episode of Long Distance Dungeons and Dragons Dinner Theater was sponsored by our fans and friends on Patreon. Donate today. Keep Long Distance Dungeons and Dragons Dinner Theater alive.